Hello, good morning, afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Have you ever made a decision in a moment of anger that you later regretted? Have you ever quit something you cared about just because it felt too hard at the time? Have you ever looked back and said, if I had just stayed calm, I could have handled it better? That's the power and the danger of emotions. Emotions are natural. They make us human. But here's the truth. Most people ignore. You will never win in life if your emotions control your actions. You only win when your mind, your discipline, your focus, your control becomes stronger than how you feel in the moment. Success isn't about who wants it the most. It's about who can stay steady when everything in them wants to break down. Let me ask you something real, and I want you to be honest. Have you ever made a decision in a moment of frustration, only to regret it minutes later? Have you ever said something you didn't mean, walked away from something you loved, or gave up too early, all because your emotions got the best of you? Of course you have. We all have. But here's the difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck. Some people learn to lead with their mind, while others keep reacting with their emotions. And the truth is, you will only start to win in life when your mind becomes stronger than your emotions. That's not a cute phrase. That's a life-changing principle. And today we're going deep into what that means, how to get there, and why it will change your future forever. Let's start with what really happens when emotions take over. When you live emotionally, you're constantly in survival mode. You react to everything. Someone criticizes you, you're offended. Someone doubts you, you're discouraged. One setback, and you're ready to quit. It becomes a cycle. Emotion leads, and logic gets silenced. And every time that happens, you lose control of your life. You start living on a roller coaster, up when things go well, crashing when they don't. You end up chasing peace, confidence, and purpose, but they always feel out of reach. That's because you're letting temporary emotions dictate long-term direction. And that's dangerous. But when your mind becomes the leader, when you train yourself to think clearly even in emotional moments, something incredible happens. You start to take back your power. Because when your mind is stronger than your mood, you don't panic when things get hard. You don't fall apart when people disappoint you. You don't get derailed by every little trigger. You rise above it. You hold your ground. You respond with intention, not just reaction. And that's when you start to move forward consistently. Now, let's talk about how to actually get there. Because this isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. This isn't about pretending you're not hurt or never feeling afraid. It's about awareness. It's about pausing in the heat of the moment and reminding yourself, I can feel this and still choose differently. It's learning to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. It's choosing not to send that angry message. It's choosing to stick to the plan when you feel like quitting. It's choosing silence over drama, discipline over impulse, clarity over chaos. You won't master that overnight, but every time you catch yourself before an emotional reaction, every time you reflect before you respond, you're building mental strength. You're rewiring your habits. You're creating a new default, one that leads to peace, power, and progress. Let me tell you something important. You will not always be motivated. You will not always feel ready. You will not always feel strong. But you can always choose discipline. And that is the ultimate power. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up when your emotions tell you to hide. It's keeping your word when your mood tells you to break it. That's where greatness is built, in those quiet moments of decision. And yes, life will test you. There will be pain, rejection, confusion, heartbreak. There will be days when you wake up and your heart feels heavy, your mind feels foggy, and everything in you wants to escape. But that's not your enemy. That's your opportunity. Because how you act when things go wrong defines who you become. Do you collapse every time life gets hard? Or do you keep standing, keep working, keep believing even when it hurts? That's what separates winners, not talent, not luck, but emotional control. And when you learn to control your reactions, when you stop giving your energy to every problem, every critic, every mood swing, you become a different kind of person. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand you. You stop wasting time on drama. You stop chasing external validation. You begin to lead from the inside out. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If you can't control yourself, you'll never control your life. You'll always be a slave to emotions, to feelings, to opinions. But if you can learn to stay calm in chaos, patient in frustration, focused in doubt, then you become unshakable. Because storms will come. Disappointments will happen. People will hurt you, plans will fail. But if your mind is strong, none of that can break you. You bend, but you don't snap. You adjust, but you don't abandon. You feel, but you don't fold. That's power. That's what changes everything. And it starts with simple choices, daily decisions to live by principle, not pressure. You wake up and you choose not to complain. You choose not to quit. You choose to keep showing up, even when no one sees you, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, because you've trained your mind to lead, not your emotions. And that's what makes you dangerous. Not loud words, not flashy moves, but quiet consistency, emotional maturity, mental toughness, that calm, focused strength that says, I know who I am, I know what I'm building, and no feeling, no mood, no drama, no pain will take me off my path. So here's the real challenge starting today. Don't just chase motivation, build discipline. Don't just chase comfort, train resilience. Don't just react. Respond with intention, because feelings are fleeting. But your future is forever. You're not here to be ruled by emotions. You're here to rise above them, to feel deeply, but move wisely, to lead with heart, but never be blinded by it. Because, in the end, the greatest victories in life don't come to the most emotional. They come to the most disciplined, the most focused, the most grounded. You can feel everything and still follow through. You can hurt and still heal. You can be afraid and still take the next step. And that's how you win. Not by avoiding emotion, but by leading with your mind in the middle of it. Because you only truly win when your mind is stronger than your emotions. Now go train that mind and change your life.